Ancient cities are undoubtedly terrifying, but the loot inside of them can be extremely lucrative, and it's very enticing for the players who want to take a risk and try to loot them. The only problem is how the hell you're supposed to loot them. The Warden inside of these cities has been purposely designed to be completely unkillable, so how are you supposed to loot them? I'm going to run you through my basic strategy on how to loot ancient cities without ever having to deal with the Warden. I'm not going to get into all the details of how these cities work, because all the strategy is supposed to be is just get in, get all the loot, get out. Without further ado, let's take a step inside. Real quick, in case you don't already know how ancient cities work, I'll give you a basic rundown. This is a Sculk sensor. It detects pretty much any sound that's made nearby it and registers it as a vibration. Pretty much anything you do triggers this thing. Walking, running, jumping, equipping armor, dropping an item, anything you do except sneaking activates this sensor. As you can see, whenever I sneak around, it doesn't activate the sensor, but for the love of God, don't step on it. Ancient cities are full of these sensors, which means that pretty much wherever you move, all your noises are being tracked. However, these little guys, they're not what you're supposed to worry about. If a city was just full of sensors, there'd be no danger. The real danger comes with these. Are you actually kidding? Yeah, anytime a sensor detects a player vibration, it sets off a Sculk Shrieker. If you trigger Sculk Shriekers a total of 3 times within a span of, I think it's 10 minutes, a Warden will spawn, and at that point, you're screwed. The whole challenge that comes with navigating ancient cities is getting all the loot without triggering a sensor, and thus a Shrieker. Because, as you can imagine, opening a chest sets off the Sculk Shrieker. Now, I'm not actually getting the full effect of a Sculk Shrieker right now, I believe because we're not actually in the ancient cities, because normally you get the darkness effect, which looks a little something like this. It's not fun. So now that you understand the basics, let's go loot an actual ancient city. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need, well, you technically don't need armor because no mobs spawn in ancient cities. Besides the Warden, but that's besides the point. You're gonna want a pickaxe, maybe an axe, some food, some wool, shears, night vision potions, and ender pearls. The ender pearls have one specific use, which I'll show to you at the end. I'm just gonna get rid of you. I know you're gonna activate, but I really don't care. Actually, if I do that, maybe it won't set it off. Huh, convenient. And if you're wondering what the hell just happened there, wool is your saving grace when it comes to navigating ancient cities. You can run and jump on and place and break wool without triggering any vibrations, and wool can stop vibrations from getting picked up by sensors or shriekers, or from allowing sensors to send vibrations to shriekers. So with that said, let's chug a night vision potion and let's go down there. Really? Okay, interesting fact. If you shift while drinking a night vision potion, it doesn't set off the sensor. That's actually huge. That means you can just drink a night vision potion whenever you want. Alright, sick. And here we go. So I'm going to show you how to loot chests on the outskirts of the city and then at the center of the city as well. So let's head up here first. I do believe there are some chests here. Oh yeah, there's 2 actually. So we have our first chests. What you want to do is always sneak, of course, and you want to look for any sensors or shriekers that could be nearby. We have a couple of sensors up here, so I'm just going to keep that in mind. Do we have any shriekers nearby? There's no shriekers in sight that we can see besides the one over there. I am going to still block myself in as best as I can here. Remember how sensors in wool work. You need to block off the sensor from ever seeing your vibration. Sensors detect vibrations within a 9-block radius, so like that sensor probably won't be a problem. I actually don't know for sure. I can't count. Here's how you block yourself in. Just surround yourself with wool on all 4 sides. And now I'm going to block myself off here too. Open the chest. Loyalty 2, Swift Sneak 1, another Swift Sneak 1, I don't need that, and Diamond Leggings. Not too bad, honestly. Swift Sneak 1 is actually a very good enchantment because when you put it on a pair of leggings, it allows you to move around faster while you're sneaking, which obviously is very good for a city where you're going to be doing nothing but sneaking. I'm going to go through the exact same process with this chest, make sure there's no sensors around, block off this one, just to be safe, surround myself on all 4 sides, and open the chest. Swift Sneak 2, let's go, an improvement. Now that was very easy. I don't even think there were any Sculk Shriekers nearby to worry about. Most chests in ancient cities are not going to be that easy to loot, let me tell you. I'm going to try and find a chest that's a little bit closer to the center of the city, like this one. Although I see literally nothing nearby that could pose a threat. Yeah, there's nothing around me. Part of the skill of looting ancient cities is being able to detect when there's like any threats around you. Keep in mind, again, that sensors can be hidden underground. Like, once again, these chests over here, I look around and I really just don't see any sensors, I don't see any shriekers. and I can open them up with literally no consequence. That's a looting 3 book. These chests right here, there's one down here and there's one on the upstairs floor as well. These are the first chests that are actually going to pose some problems to us, because there are sensors and shriekers here that we cannot detect. I'm going to go check on the roof here, see if there's any shriekers, and oh, there you go. There's a shrieker, clear as day. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to block all of these sensors off. I'm just going to fully cover them up, not even going to take a chance. I'm going to surround myself as much as I can. We are not able to break these blocks, so we're going to activate that sensor, but we shouldn't activate the shrieker if we've done this right. There you go. We did not activate the shrieker because we covered like literally everything up. And now I need to get all my blocks back because I used so many. I also saw a couple sensors up here that we didn't need to worry about before, but yep, they're right here. We should be fine now. Alright, we are fine. The sensors like up there definitely still detected us, but we blocked the wool from sending any vibrations to the shrieker, which is pretty good, pretty good. I want to find one more chest just to show like how difficult this can really be, because you really need to cover all your bases for something like that. Also gonna grab a little bit more wool here because I am running kind of low. Alright, I believe I've stumbled upon the hardest chest to loot in this city. I'm gonna drink another potion real quick and just discard that. This chest right here, okay? We can already see we have quite a lot of trouble here, but it's worse than just on the first glance. If we look behind us here, we'll see that there are sensors below the chest, and there's one directly below it as well. How the hell are we supposed to deal with this? It almost feels like we can't loot this chest without activating something, and in fairness, there are some chests that you just cannot loot in ancient cities, where there'll just be too much stuff around for you to actually block out. But I do believe we can make this work. We know there's a sensor down there. We can actually place a block here. That's not common. You're usually not able to get away with that, but we can. I can try and block off these sensors right here. Of course, I'm going to block off just literally everything around here as well. And I'm actually not going to block that stuff off because we're going to be able to cancel out those vibrations once we block ourselves in anyway. I do believe that's everything around us though, so I am just going to follow the usual method of blocking ourselves in by doing this. I'm not sure this will work. I'm going to do it. It worked! It actually worked. We did it. I actually just want to comment on something real quick while I'm here. We got very lucky with that chest because there was a block below it where we could just place some wool and we'd be fine. However, oftentimes, that's not going to be the case. You're not going to be able to get away with that. There's going to be a block in your way and you're not going to be able to hide that sensor. So, what the hell do you do now? Because I know for a fact that because of that sensor being below us, it's going to activate this shrieker right over here. What are we supposed to do about that? Well, are there any other shriekers nearby that the sensor could activate? Maybe that one. I'm going to show you all a way to get out of these seemingly impossible situations. I'm just going to block this off completely. I'm really being wasteful with my wool here, but it's for the sake of a demonstration. I hope you'll understand. All I'm going to do is just... Done. Did not send out a warning. It did activate that sensor over there if you heard it, but because there was nothing else for that sensor to react with, we're fine. So basically, to recap, block yourself in on all 4 sides when you're going to loot a chest, but before doing that, ensure that everything around you within a 9-block radius is completely blocked off with wool. Being able to detect exactly where you need to place wool definitely is something that comes with practice, but it's not difficult to learn, really. Also be aware that if necessary, my night vision is about to go out. Be aware that if all else fails, you can break the shriekers that are around you if necessary, but you really need to be cautious with it. Also, make sure to bring night vision with you, preferably the extended version if possible. And honestly, that's it. That was like the hardest chest you'll find in a city to loot. Again, with enough practice, if you can efficiently manage where and how you place your wool, you'll pretty much be fine. However, there is one more thing that I need to mention. The Warden. It is an inevitability that you'll come across the Warden in Minecraft, and as we already established, he's meant to be unkillable. So, how do you actually escape? This is where the Ender Pearls come in. While you're looting the ancient cities, always be aware of your surroundings. Make sure you have a place to go in the event that something goes wrong. For the sake of our demonstration, I'm going to cause problems on purpose. Always make sure to have the Ender Pearls in your hotbar, and a pickaxe on hand as well. What you're about to see might be kind of cowardly, but honestly, given the circumstances, you and I both know it's worth it. Yep, that's quite literally all that you do. Purl away as quickly as you can as soon as you know you've stepped on a Shrieker for the 4th time, and dig yourself into the ground. And then you wait for, I believe it's 60 seconds, and then the Warden should despawn. If you're closer enough to the Warden, you'll hear it dig itself back into the ground and despawn. Is it cowardly? Yes. Is it kind of irritating? Yeah, a little bit. Is it going to work on a multiplayer server? I'm less sure about that. Depends on if you trust your friends. But if you've messed up that many times to where you've summoned the Warden, this is really your last-ditch effort. I don't see a Warden anywhere. I sure hope I don't anyway. I pulled too far away to be certain, but it's been 2 minutes. It's safe to say the Warden's not coming back. Yeah, no, if he was here, I definitely know by now because that is the Shrieker that I activated. That's everything that I have to teach you about looting ancient cities. Carefully utilize wool, block off all the sensors and shriekers that you need to, break shriekers when possible, and if all else fails, run for your life. In fairness, I did miss a lot of details by going through this short guide, like using snowballs to lure the Warden out of your way, but that's another person's story to tell. This is just a bare bones guide on looting ancient cities and getting the most out of it. As long as you're careful, then this should work. Most, if not all of the time, you'll loot ancient cities without any trouble. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy the new update.